Powell's up next for Northwest Guilford. Good to see Nick in the house. Hope you're doing good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Could be doing better, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When the basketball season works and the season's over, it's kind of tough to take. But it's been a good year. I mean, gosh, you think about it, conference champions, and you beat East Forsyth twice in the same week.
Yeah, I mean, even though things didn't work out how we'd like, I mean, you still have to come up with the moral victories. East Forsyth 2 times. That was a great team that we beat. We beat Southwest once, Ragsdale. So we still had some good wins this year.
Yeah, and being conference champions, nothing wrong with that at all. That's not too bad either.
It is. I mean, we would have liked to have been regular season champions, but tournament champions, we'll take it.
I'll tell you what, tough game, tough loss on Monday against Smith. And gosh, you guys had some chances there late, 83-79 the final. Played a tough Smith team, but I think Smith may have given you their best shot on Monday night. I saw they lost to Independence, I think, by about 13 last night.
I think we may have just left it all on the floor in the East Forsyth game. I think the Smith game from the start, we noticed that they came out with more intensity than us, and that ultimately was the finisher for us.
And how tough is it to turn that uniform in? Have you had to do that already?
It was, yes, that night. It was real tough. It was surreal.
After the game, you had to
yes,
turn
sir.
it in. That has got to be crazy because you put in several good years with Northwest. I mean, what if we had that shootout, go back and have a shootout between Cody Hilton and Nick Powell? I mean, you've had some very good teammates and a lot of success with Northwest the past several years.
It's unbelievable. Over 4 years, a lot of different players I played with. It's been a long run, and it's tough to believe that it's over.
Love calling those Northwest Guilford games, especially when Nick Powell would shoot. Always like to do the pow, 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 the power shot when you hit the 3. That was one of your best shots, 3-point outside, deadly from outside, and I know you want to do something with that shot in the future, but you and Colson Everett, when you guys would get hot, I mean, Northwest could actually really get on the big run.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, it wasn't just me and Colson. We had a lot of young talent this year with Spicer. Reggie Davis stepped up late in the season.
Reggie stepped up late in the year, started hitting some double-digit games, and as a freshman, he really came on. We didn't even know much about Reggie in the beginning.
He did. He didn't play as much at the beginning of the year. Late in the year, he really turned it up, and coaches played him a lot going down the stretch.
And those 2 guards you mentioned, Jalen Gore and Jalen Spicer, a very good combo in that backcourt. Not all the time together in the backcourt. Sometimes you put them together, but even separate, they do well.
Yeah, I think we had so much talent this year that it was tough for coach to try to figure out, with all that talent, what to do with it and where to piece it together. But we definitely had a lot of talent all across the board.
And the seniors would be yourself, Colson Everett,
Nick Yoakum, Hampton Billups,
and Nick Yoakum.
Tim Kilpatrick.
And Tim
as well.
Also. Boy, Tim's role diminished some toward the end of the year. I remember back around the Timco tournament, he had a very good Timco, had some good solid games, impressed with Tim's work. Boy, Yoakum was, I mean, you can't really put a label on a player, really can't define him completely. Boy, Yoakum did a lot of, he did like a yeoman's work around that lane. I mean, I love watching him play because he played so hard.
Yeah, Yoakum's a good player, and Tim did a lot of things that was off the court, just as far as leadership. He stepped up for us where, it wasn't on the stat sheet.
Yeah, and you mentioned Hampton Billups. Hampton just worked his rear end off of that lane all season long, helping keep the ball alive, helping look for some good shots on the inside. Coming off a very good football year, which maybe his focus had kind of leaned a little more toward football, but I mean, he gave everything he had for the basketball too, and he's been a good leader for you.
He did. Hampton does another guy that does a lot of things that aren't on the stat sheet, and he's done it consistently all year.
What do you think is going to happen with these seniors? Where are all these guys going to be going now, yourself included?
I'm actually undecided. I don't know where I'm going next year. I'm looking for a school that I can play at and has a good academic program. I know Hampton is trying to decide between basketball and football. Colson's going to play baseball at Pfeiffer.
Certainly, and that kid, man, he can throw a pass. That baseball pass he threw in one of the games I was at was unreal. And I hate to see him give up his basketball, which he has to because he's got to get his focus on his baseball. But still, watching Colson, that outside shot he had, sometimes that flat shot would be just right.
Yep.
Just right.
It sure is.
How about the other seniors? Other guys going?
I think Tim's undecided where he's going. Nick Yoakum told me he's going to UNCW to go to school. And Dave Everest, actually, our other senior, he's going to App State. So we got different guys going different places.
All over.
Yeah.
How about this guy that came in Monday night? He was number 10, Sam Covington.
Sam Covington, yeah.
Sam got that 3 and it never even heard
much.
He's
a shooter. He's a junior for us, and he didn't really play much at the beginning of the year, but at the end of the year, he stepped up for us.
It looked like by the end of the year, Coach Revis started looking at a little bit of everybody.
He did.
Because you played a lot of games. On a given week, you may play 3 games.
Yeah,
guys get
people get tired.
Yeah, give everybody a chance.
Yeah, so you need when we get tired and we have 3 games in a week, we need guys to step up that don't normally play, that can step up and play defense, get out on the ball, pressure the ball, stuff like that. That was important for us late in the year.
How do you find ways to get open for that 3-point shot? Is it best just to try to work the pass and kind of get the defense moving, swing the pass around and get it? Or are you better when you find some guy, give me a good, steady, solid screen? How does it work best for you?
It's tough. Sometimes you got to go ball screens. I think this year more than other years, I've had to move without the ball. That's something I've learned to get open.
Move and get open.
Move and get open, because it's been tough this year, especially with people. Me and Colson, they know our name. They're going to come out and guard us, and we have to, get away from them and get the ball.
Are you better in the corner, better straight ahead, or maybe that little angle? That little angle seemed like it might have been
I like the angle shot, about the 45-degree angle.
It looked like that was your best shot. I can almost see that left side and right side. Maybe right side as good as the left, maybe even better on that right side.
That's probably my preference.
Yeah, you can almost visualize some of those shots you'll be taking out there and hitting those shots. I know you're going to miss them, but what do you do between now and, say, basketball season next year? What happens between now and then?
I work out, I play a little travel ball, and hopefully just find the fit for me.
Are there possibilities for travel ball as a senior as opposed to being an underclassman? Are there still travel ball teams out there?
There is. Not in the summer so much, but in the spring. This is about right now, March and April. Just try to get some of these last tournaments in and get somebody to look at me. Just hope for the best as far as recruiting goes.
Who would be playing for now, AAU-wise?
Brandex.
Brandex. Who's on that team? Who's the coach of that team?
Coach Bob Smith is coaching with us. And we had a good team last year. Montrell Goldston was on our team from GDS. A few guys from Durham. It's actually founded out of Durham. So.
Kind of a statewide team.
Yeah, yes, sir.
But still not sure where you're going to go to when it comes time to go.
Still undecided. Hopefully, I can tell you sometime soon.
I'm sure, but any of those, is it Division I? Is it Division II? Is it Division III? Or is it just up in the air?
Well, I have a few Division III schools looking at me that I've thought about and applied to. That's an option for me. Not so much D2, but D1 I'd also be interested in walking on somewhere, maybe UNCW.
That's a smart move.
Maybe
so you look at the D3 as strong possibilities, but if you really want to play bad and want to go to a bigger school, you do the walk on to Division I.
Yes, sir. That's my plan right now to do.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm sure Guilford's probably been to see you play a number of times.
Guilford and Roanoke College have been to a lot of my games this year and been recruiting me.
I'm sure Coach Tom Palumbo has seen in a number of Guilford, it's your Northwest Guilford games coming over from Guilford College.
I like Palumbo a lot. He's a really good guy.
Good guy, and you got Matt Pulowski over there too. He's probably played on the same team with a few times over the years, working that football team for Guilford College. You look back at the success you've had. What do you kind of attribute all this to at Northwest over the years?
It's tough. This 4 years, there's been a lot of diversity on these teams over the last 4 years. A lot of guys I played with. I'd have to attribute all the success to my players, my coaches, and our family. Our support at Northwest is great. I love our parents. Everything about our program, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And there's been more diversity than there has been adversity, right?
That's true. There's been adversity too.
Yeah, but you guys, the one thing I'll say about Coach Revis, even though there was some adversity maybe for a while, maybe it's been some, I don't know about any recent adversity, but he's kind of smart about keeping everything kind of low-key and not allowing things to get too hot and get too crazy, get out of hand.
I agree. I think something special about this team is, especially at the end of the year, we really meshed, unlike any team I've been with at Northwest. These guys, a lot of very different people, but we all came together at the end of the year.
And that was special. Still, that conference championship has to be one you'll remember for years to come.
I definitely will.
When did you get started playing basketball? And you're fairly tall, especially probably about 6'2", 6'3".
6'3".
For a guard, not bad height at all. But when did you get started? Were you big back in the beginning?
I think I started playing my first year when I was 3 or 4. So it's been my whole life pretty much.
Was it at around Northwest and that community?
I think I was playing at the Guilford College Y when I was about 4.
Oh, good start. Guilford College Y. Was that back when it was over?
That was back when the Y was at Guilford College.
I'm saying that's going back to the day. That's
way back.
Back in the Reagan Brown Fieldhouse.
Yes, sir. Hot hoops.
Wow. Who was coaching back then? Who discovered you?
I don't even remember. I remember rec ball when I was in elementary school. My dad was always coaching me.
That's pretty neat going back to the Guilford College YMCA inside that Reagan Brown Fieldhouse.
Yes, sir.
Very good days. Very good days. Did you have any teams that you followed over the years? What did you think about? Let's just cut to the chase. What did you think about that State Carolina game last night? Did you watch some of that?
I'm a Duke fan.
So
with me,
you were heavy for State last night.
Yes, sir. I'm just coming off mourning the loss of the Duke Carolina game.
We could go tonight. I guess that game was. I think it was we could go tonight. And then last night the State Carolina game. Did you watch that State Carolina game?
I watched a little bit of the end of it.
What did you think about that game?
Carolina pulled it out.
What about the battle between the scoring war between Warren and Marcus Page?
I got to give it to him. He's coming on lately. I think he had, 35 last night?
35, yeah.
That's impressive. I got to give it to him.
TJ Warren, 36 points, did all he could to help Kent State the win. But who do you see being the ACC Player of the Year if you had to choose between those two guys? I wrote these names down, but I just take them off the list here. You look at Warren, you look at Page, and you look at Parker.
Well, obviously I'm biased, so I would say Jabari Parker.
Yeah, right.
But if not, TJ Warren would be at the top of my list. Just because of his size and his ability to score. It's unbelievable.
Now here's another one for you. All three of those guys, we're watching them playing college ball right now, outstanding college players. You see all three of those guys wearing different uniforms next year?
I see Jabari wearing a different uniform next year. Warren possibly. I don't know about Pace.
I know that might be the one of the three you may think the most
he could stay
because he could benefit from staying.
I agree.
I'm almost thinking Warren cannot do himself any good coming back. I mean, it's almost like he has to go down.
And same with Jabari in the way I see it.
You almost felt like when Jabari Parker came in, he was a one and done man. He came to Duke was probably lucky to get him because he was going to go somewhere. Yeah. And glad for their standpoint he chose them.
I think Jabari is definitely NBA bound.
Yeah,
I think he's ready to.
He would be there already if it wasn't for the college rule. I guess you've got to play that 1 year. What are you going to study when you get to college? What's the plans for the future? Do you get any ideas about that?
Ever since I was little, I love to draw. So I've actually wanted to be an architect.
That's good stuff.
And recently, I've also considered something in maybe business, business administration. So one of those two things is probably the top of my list.
That's pretty good because the architectural drawing is kind of not the fun little.
Not doodling.
Leisure, not doodling, not in little leisure drawing. That's serious drawing. Plus, you can get paid good money for that too.
Yes, sir. That's something I've been wanting to do my whole life.
Do you still keep up with Cody Hilton? Ever had a Cody?
I pretty much talk to Cody every day. He's at Mars Hill right now.
Is he still playing?
I think they're at the end of their season. From what I've heard, they didn't have a great season record-wise, but he likes it there. I talk to him just about every day. He's kept up with me and supported me, especially through the playoffs and in the conference tournament. He would text me every day before the game, wish me good luck. So yeah, he's.
That's a good friend to have. That's good to kind of get that.
Actually, it's funny. I've actually been best friends with Cody since he was my next door neighbor when I was a little kid. So we've been best friends for my whole life.
Wow. So you guys grew up together?
Yes, sir.
Playing basketball against each other
every day.
The only thing you're missing, and he had, I guess, was the beard.
I miss the beard. Yeah. I can't grow the beard.
The beard was a thing with Cody. It seemed like that. And some other guys around Northwest picked that beard up too, I believe.
I know. Hampton Billups got a little bit of the scruff going on. I'd do it if I could. Yeah, but it's just not in the genes, I guess.
I'd even tried if you can't really grow a decent beard. I think it's best probably leave that well alone. Now, you guys in the Northwest neighborhood, what kind of, I know that territory a little bit. Kind of whereabouts were you guys growing up at? Around near the school, outside the school, Stokesdale, Oak Ridge, Summerfield?
Well, most of my friends are in the Oak Ridge area. I'm actually more towards Greensboro, right beside the school.
Oh, okay.
Like near the airport, Bryant Boulevard.
That's not a bad area.
Yes, sir. The Cardinal is where I live. So.
That's a nice neighborhood, too. In fact, I grew up not too far from there myself.
Did you?
Excellent little area, yeah. Right at the end of the runway. Used to go out every day and throw rocks at airplanes. If I could just hit one of those airplanes, I know I could have got my name in the paper if I would have done that. And probably came close. We used to go out and dig in the ground in case we find an old airplane propeller, maybe in the ground from maybe a plane crash many moons ago. Those were great days. But to me, growing up, I went to Western Guilford, but I was actually living a little closer to Northwest. Almost like I'm closer now with Northwest than I am with Western Guilford because
I think the Cardinal was not districted in Western back in the day.
They sure were. Yeah, the whole area out there was. Almost right up near the Northwest Guilford boundary. Because when I come over to Northwest now, I kind of come down that, I guess it'd be the old Oak Ridge Road. Yeah. Make a little winding turn down through those hills. A lot of that area there. I think this is kind of give you the geographical discussion, which may not benefit a lot of people. It does benefit myself though and Nick. You're right up to near where the Northwest Baptist Church is. That was still Western Guilford territory.
Yeah.
You could, if you've got a real good arm, I guess you could throw halfway a ball to Northwest from there. Yeah. And that's amazing because that Edgefield Road area there was actually still Western Guilford territory.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. But how about the Northwest Guilford all-season? Just say right now you're working on a few other things, getting ready for this all-season basketball, maybe some travel ball, just to stay in shape, I guess, the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Staying in shape. Obviously playing, working out a lot, trying to build my body. All things to be productive for playing in the future.
It's all about the shot, though. When you have a three-point shot is so important, you got to do everything you can just to keep that shot going.
I think by doing that, after you work out, you got to get some shots up just to keep the muscle memory, especially after you lift.
How many free throws a day would you shoot on a busy day?
I would say I don't shoot too many free throws on that every day. I mean, maybe 20, 25 when I'm shooting. I always start and end with shooting free throws every time I work out, just to keep it fresh.
What kind of percentage did you have free throws during the year?
I think I finished with 82%.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Yes, sir.
I think I hit 82 out of 100 over at Jefferson School about 3 Sundays ago. Decided to shoot 100 that day for some reason. I think my arm has been extremely sore ever since. Yeah, I don't know, but you know where the Jefferson School is, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nice little spot in that same territory. Big wins for you this year. I know you had several. The East Forsyth game is probably the biggest win.
East Forsyth.
Yeah.
East Forsyth at East Forsyth was a big one, and then obviously the conference tournament championship. You can't beat that. Also the win at Southwest. That was a big game.
In their territory, right?
Yeah, in overtime.
Wow, that's huge to go in their place. I would have loved to have heard that crowd level in there that night.
Crazy. I didn't have a good night that night. I think I only had 6 points, but I had a game-winning shot in overtime. So
do you remember where that shot was from?
It was a floater.
Yeah.
About in the middle of the lane.
2-pointer.
Yes, sir.
Coming down the lane.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That was a tough night at Ragsdale the night you guys played. There at Ragsdale, Coach Shoemaker was here and James Stephens. That was a tough night over there that evening.
Yeah, they caught us off guard that night and put it to us.
Who's the big rival for you? If you had to choose between, say, Northwest would be taking on, let's say, Southwest is in that category. You got Western Guilford. You don't even play them anymore, probably. But, boy, I bet they would be a good rival. And you got Southwest and Ragsdale, East Forsyth. Who's the big rival?
So you have to add Northern Guilford into it.
Oh, yeah, I got them on the paper.
As an out-of-conference rival.
Yeah, exactly. Among all of them, who's the biggest, probably?
I always enjoy playing Northern. This year, it's always fun playing them. We actually got to play them 3 times this year. We got the best of them 3 times, but it's always fun playing Northern.
Because last year, I think you may have split with them last year.
We split my sophomore year. We actually beat them both times last year, too.
Did you really?
Yes,
you beat them at your place. I couldn't remember if you beat them at their place or not.
Yes, sir.
And any players over there that really kind of catch your attention you'd love to go up against?
I think you got to respect Marcus Curry. He's a good player. Also, Matt Furlow. They got a good team. And Bill Chambers is actually my middle school coach.
Is that right?
At Coronado? Yes, sir.
Wow.
13-0 my 8th grade year.
Wow, that feels good.
Yeah, so I got a lot of respect for Bill Chambers, too.
He's a smart coach. Very smart coach. Ran into him a couple of Saturdays ago up on Battleground. We talked, I had a Northeast Guilford top on our occasion, which I found at the Coliseum about 10 years ago. He thought it was a ram, and I thought, no, it's just a shirt. But he and I talked, Coach Chambers, and knows the basketball game very well.
He does. I've known him for a long time, and I respect him as a coach and as a guy.
What did he teach at Coronado?
He was a French teacher.
That's what I heard all those years.
Because he played overseas, so he speaks German.
He's a smart guy, very intelligent guy. What about from Southwest? Who's the big guys you think of when you think of Southwest Guilford went up against these years?
Southwest, I played with, you got to respect KJ. I played with DJ in middle school, DJ Chambly. Ben Ferguson, I think he's a junior. He's a good shooter. They got good talent over there too.
Not this year, but the year before, because we were there for the game you had that night against Southwest when Leach just went crazy. Terrell Leach, quite a player.
He is a great player. Averaging 30 points a game his senior year. You got to respect that. He's a good kid too.
How about the Timco this year? You guys beat Smith in round 1, 50-49.
Yeah.
And in the second round, did you go up against Day School?
Yes, sir.
Talk about that.
I think we were down 3. I want to say 3 at the end of the third quarter. So we had them on the ropes, and the fourth quarter got away from us. I think they ended up beating us by 17 or 18.
But it does show the improvement of Northwest Guilford's program.
It does. That's a game I'd want to have back, though. Or I'd want to play them at the end of the year when we were at the top of our game as a team. I'd be interested to see how we competed against them at the end of the year.
Would you like a matchup maybe with Page to see what you could do with Page?
I would. I wish we played Page this year. I wanted to play them, especially at the end of the year. I think we would have given them
a great playoff game. That's the game I want to see in the playoffs. I wouldn't want to see it in the first round. Even a game like Smith and Northwest is sometimes does not seem completely fair in the first round. 2 very good teams. You should have got somebody at your place after winning the conference tournament. Maybe with their record didn't show how great Smith was. Smith, excellent team. I think you guys should have faced a weaker team that first round game.
I think so too. I mean, Smith, I think we underestimated them, honestly. I think that was a mistake on our part because they were a good team.
What about that little freshman guard, J.J. Watson? He's a handful, right?
He can play. He can play.
Did you get to cover him any or no? I
didn't. I mean, we ran a zone most of the game. So as far as just straight on the ball against certain players, that didn't happen too much. But I mean, he hit some big shots against us. A lot of threes.
Western Guilford guys, you don't match up with them anymore. Any guys over there you go head to head against?
I haven't played them in 2 years. So as far as the matchups, I don't even.
That's serious. that series is almost dead now then, right?
I hate to say it. I know my sophomore year I was looking forward to playing them my junior and senior year, and we couldn't play them the last 2 years. It's a shame.
So Northwest Guilford and Coach Revis, can you tell us what you picked up from him the past couple of years as a head coach? You talked about how he kind of came in and smoothed things out quite a bit when he took over.
Well, yeah.
What did you learn from Coach Revis?
Well, me and Revis came in the same year. My freshman year, he was it was his first year at Northwest, so we kind of came in together. I've always been close with Coach Revis. He's a great guy. He's taught me how to be a leader. I've grown with him here. Just had a great experience at Northwest. I wouldn't trade it.
How about the assistant coaches?
Coach Mack, Coach Brown, they're good guys. I mean, Coach Mack is he's the voice of our team. So if we need somebody to fire us up, he's the guy to talk to us, and Coach Brown's more the thinker. So we got a good balance. I like our coaches a lot.
How about this girls team? You got some pretty good guards in that team too. I mean, if you're matching up trying to help these girls, would it be a tough matchup going against Haley Barber?
Haley Barber, yeah, she's a player. She's a sophomore.
Yeah, she is a sophomore.
She can play. They also got some shooters too, Savannah Neese.
Tony Tucker,
Yeah.
Girls can shoot as well.
Our girls got a good team.
Good future there for them too.
I think so, and they're young too.
Yeah, they are. All those girls playing that AAU team together, I think, in the summer for the most part. What about the men's team? Future for Northwest? You're not the coach, but you're a guy who's an insider because you're a player.
Yeah.
What's the future of this team look like?
We got a lot of talented guards, and we got some young bigs. I think we got a lot of talent. I think these guys can definitely make a good team in the future.
So it should carry on.
I think it will carry on.
Who will the bigs be? Because I'm not knowing all the younger bigs.
Reggie Davis.
Yep, there you
young
go.
big.
Yeah, he's going to get bigger and going to grow.
And you got to bring in some guys. You got to get some guys off JV and just develop them and turn them into players. I do think we'd be lacking in bigs as far as we got our guards. We got Kevin Henry.
Yeah,
we got
Kevin
Gore.
Henry's he had an excellent game against Smith. He kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sleep on Kevin all year. He can play.
Sure, yeah.
We'll definitely need him next year, along with Gore and Spice.
You may have to go with 4 guards and 1 big man.
Yep.
Or you may have to go just like 5 smaller
5
players.
out.
Yeah. If you could get Coach Kitley back in shape, he could probably man that middle, couldn't he?
We take him. We take Mr. Kitley.
I would love to see that guy play some basketball again. I remember back when he was in high school and college, just an excellent ball player.
Yeah.
And just so big.
6'10". You
Big.
can't argue with that.
Not at all. I think he's got a daughter we hear is on her way too.
Yeah, Elizabeth. She's about 6 foot already. She's a tall girl. So.
She's probably still in middle school, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she's in 8th grade.
Gotcha. Well, listen, outstanding job with your part of Northwest. Excellent career.
Thanks a lot.
Hope it continues and
Yes,
keep us abreast. He was last year's GreensboroSports.com, I guess the 2013 Player of the Year. Nick Powell from Northwest Guilford. Very good support by the Northwest Guilford student body. Keep up the good work and keep working.